Hey guys, it's me. I'm back again for the first time in like almost a year. Well, technically a year since you see my face. I mean, I uploaded that video, I guess, a couple months back where I had a little fun with the opening credits for the series, for the new series, Star Trek Discovery, where I changed it up. I kept it up for a little while, and then I thought better of it because I didn't want to get flack from CBS to take it down. And to truly tell you the truth, I really haven't been in the mood of making videos until recently, and that's why I'm here today. And the reason why I'm here today is because I've decided to try and review one of my all-time favorite series. I guess you would consider this a classic. It's the original Mission Impossible series from 1966. Technically, I will be reviewing season one, which comprises of 28 episodes. So I will try my best to get to all 28 episodes. Although, if you've known me and if you've been on this channel for a while, you know that I'm a little with my videos, but I'm really trying to. I'm really going to try and change that with this series of videos that I want to do on the first season of Mission Impossible. So, with that out of the way, here is my review of the first episode for the Mission Impossible series, season one, episode one, which is always called the pilot. Now, the thing about Mission Impossible is if you know nothing about it, it's about basically a team of black bag secret agents that go into other countries to defend and protect America's best interests. And in this first uh, episode, the leader of the team, which in this case is not Jim Phelps, it is um, Dan Briggs, which for me, a lifelong Mission Impossible fan, when I finally actually saw the first episode of the pilot, I was like, where the hell is Mr. Phelps? And I discovered that Mr. Phelps doesn't show up until season two. And the main reason for that is because the um, the actor who played um, Dan Briggs in real life was a really really he was a really really religious man, and he was a Jewish man. So according to his traditions, he couldn't shoot on certain days and he couldn't do stuff on certain days. So after the first season, those in charge of a CBS at the time said, "Listen, we like you, but it's kind of difficult for us to shoot your show with. It's kind of difficult for us to shoot the show when we want to shoot the show, and when we're ready to shoot the show. Uh, uh, it's kind of difficult for us to shoot the show around your restrictions, around your religious restrictions. If I'm right, and I don't mean to be insulting to anybody, but anyway, because of his complicated schedule, because of his beliefs, they let him go, and they decided to hire uh, um, Peter Graves as Mr. Phelps, which is anyone who knows Mission Impossible. The first thing that you think about when you say Mission Impossible is Peter Graves and Mr. Phelps, right? You know. So enough with the little rambling on history section. Enough with the rambling on history. Enough with the rambling on history lesson about the first season of Mission Impossible. Anyway, this episode is basically about the team getting hired to go into a fake fictional country, I guess in Latin America. I would guess uh, I would guess is in somewhere in Latin America. It's called Santa Costa, and their mission is to remove some nuclear warheads that the dictator uh, um, running that fictional country has, and that's basically it. The great thing that I love about the first episode of Mission is that from the get go you really get an understanding of what this fictional world is like. From Mr. Briggs going into an old record shop to receive his first mission, you know, and also I know to the Times he goes into a record shop, but he gets his mission on an old vinyl record. So I think that's really cool, and I think that's one of the charms of classic Mission Impossible. So I really enjoyed that, and I also really enjoyed the way that he after he gets the mission, there's a scene with him going back to his apartment and selecting his team for the mission, and I really like that that visual aid that the writers and the producers, I'm sure, came up with. Uh, that every episode we're going to have our main leader of the team select the people that he wants for the specific mission. So he has a little binder, and in that little binder, he takes out photos of I guess all of the IMF agents in the area, and he selects them and he lays them down on his table. And I think that that's just a really interesting way of telling us who's going to be a part of the mission and what their qualifications are. I think that's an awesome way of doing it. I think that's a great visual cue. Also, after that, I really like the way that the team is first introduced when they're shown when each of the member of the team is shown in a close up, each of them, and as we pull back, we discover that they're playing a game of cards, and because of the year, actually, they're playing a game of cards for mere cents. I mean, it was 1966. This is not now. I mean, if it was now, they'd be playing for like $100, $200. They'd be they'd just be throwing it down. But since it was back in the day, they were just fumbling with just random 2 cents, 3 cents, whatever. So I think that, again, to use the word charm, brings a little charm to this first pilot episode of Mission Impossible. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this episode was the way that Martin Landau plays the character of Roland Hand. Now, Roland Hand is a member of the team that is the man with many faces. Like, he does impressions, he does all sorts of things. As a matter of fact, as we review more episodes, as we go over more episodes into the series, we'll discover that when he is supposed to impersonate someone, he actually takes on dual roles in one episode or not, which is one of my favorites. I can't remember what the name of the episode is, but I think that he does such a good job with his acting and playing different roles and his mannerisms and everything that he does. As a matter of fact, going into that, there's one particular scene where he's practicing to impersonate this dictator guy, and he's seeing him on a projector, and he's practicing his mannerisms. So I thought was really cool. To wrap it up here, one thing in the episode that I really didn't like is, quote unquote here, spoiler alert if you haven't seen this episode. Well, most of these reviews are going to contain spoilers. When the leader of the team and the dictator get locked in the vault together, and they open up the box, or the steel box that the warhead is in, they lift it up, and the warhead that they show doesn't look like a warhead at all. So that really ticked me off, and really made me upset that you know that the props department could have come up with something a little better than that. Although, granted, I really I really hesitate to think that somebody in 1966 actually knew what a real warhead looked like. So I'll give the props department a pass on that one. Anyway, I really enjoyed this episode. As you can tell, it really ignited my love for the spy genre, and specifically this uh, series in as a whole. Uh, because of this series, Mission Impossible is my second favorite franchise of all time, next to um, uh, uh, Star Trek. So my grade for this episode would be an A minus. The only thing that I didn't like about this episode was that dumb warhead that I thought the props department could have done a better job on. Anyway, that does it for me. If you like this video, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe. And if you've seen the first season of Mission Impossible, in particular this episode, uh, let me know what you thought of it. Leave a comment down below. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will try to do these videos on a more consistent clip for all of you. But as I say often, I'll see you when I see you.
So much happened here, and so much is about to.